Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So the theme that we've been having in this month of Karthik is this one important thing which we don't ask ourselves. What is the essence? Why does the Lord come down to this material world? What is his business? What is his purpose? What is his intent? And Krishna in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita says, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakalena hamata yoga nashta parantapa. That yoga, the science of our relationship with the Lord, is something which is lost, which we have forgotten. We are eternally spirit soul, we are eternal spirit souls, part and parcel of the Lord, and we have an eternal relationship with the Lord. But that science, that aspect of that knowledge we have forgotten, and the Lord comes to re-establish that. And there's a beautiful verse that we took it as premise on the first day. This is a verse which is spoken by Mother Devahuti to her own son, Kapila Muni, and she says that Etavatalam kalena vyatikrantena me prabho indriyartha prasangena parityakta paramatmanaha. Etavatalam kalena. Actually, there is a lot of time which has been wasted, which has been lost. Etavatalam kalena vyatikrantena me prabho. Vyatikranta, I just got distracted and a lot of time has been wasted. Etavatalam, chhod de bhai jo bhi. Etavatalam kalena vyatikrantena me prabho indriyartha prasangena. Why did I get distracted? What was the reason? Indriyartha prasangena. There were so many subject matters related to indriya artha for the business of satisfying our senses. Parityakta paratmanaha. And I forgot about the Supreme Lord. This is what is the case with all of us. Etavatalam kalena. Time which is running away. This Karthik month also will soon come to an end. Who knows, right? But if we are a little serious, and if we just ask these questions, what is this business? Why am I here? What's the goal of life? What is it that the Lord wants? And how so much of time has been wasted in so many useless things. Etavatalam kalena vyatikrantena me prabhu indriyartha prasangena parityakta paratmanaha. So we took this theme that we will talk about the 5 limbs of devotional service as mentioned in Nectar of Devotion by Srila Rupa Goswami, which are the topmost angas of devotional service. And he says that just by little association, Sakala sadhana shrestha ei panchanga, Krishna prema janmaya ei panchera alpasanga. Even a little association with any of these 5 can develop Krishna prema. So what we did was this 5 limbs, Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, and Mathuravas and Srimurtira Shraddhaya Sevan. We have been taking this as a theme for like one week, 6 days, 6 days, 6 days. Of course, in between the festivals keep coming. That has been our goal. That has been our focus or meditation. The first day, or the second day rather, the first theme that we had was Sadhu Sangha. And in Sadhu Sangha, there are 2 verses that I would like you to remind. There were 6 examples. I don't want to get into that because we can't go to the session that we want to do today. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hai Sadhu Sangha. Krishna Prema Janme Tenho Punha Mukhyanga. The root cause of devotional service is association with advanced devotees. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hai Sadhu Sangha. The root cause, mula is root. The root cause of devotional service to the Lord is association with the devotees. If somebody says, I am very advanced, I have developed Krishna Prem, why I need sadhu sangha? No. Krishna Prema Janme Tenoho Punah Mukhyanga. Even if your dormant love for Krishna has awakened, still association with devotees is the most essential. And then we had this beautiful verse of Bhagavatam which says, Bhavapa Vargo Brahmato Yada Bhavej Janasya Tarhi Achyuta Satsamagamaha Satsangamo Yarhi Tadeva Sadgato Paravare Setvai Jayate Matihi. Bhavapa Vargo Brahmato Yada Bhavej. In this material world, when we are wandering through different bodies in different planets, trying to be happy, when we come to the state where the material existence is almost going to come to an end, when there is a cessation of material existence, we get the opportunity of associating with devotees. Bhavapa Vargo Brahmato Yada Bhavet Janasya Tarhi Achyuta Sat Samagamaha. Janasya Tarhi Achyuta Sat Samagamaha. The association of devotees comes. And what happens if you come in association of devotees? Sat Sangamo Yarhi Tadeva Sadgato Paravare Setvai Jayate. There is a discussion of the glories of the Supreme Lord in that association. Sat Sangamo Yarhi Tadeva Sadgato Paravare Setvai Jayate Mati. And that association, when we hear the glories of the Supreme Lord, our Mati gets attracted towards that. Tvai Jayate Mati. This was the theme for Sadhu Sangha. Then we had Nam Kirtan. The power of holy name. The power of holy name is unlimited, isn't it? We just focused on 2 verses, or I have kept 2 verses for the simple this thing. The last verse of Bhagavatam which is written by Vyasadeva in his maturity, after having compiled all the Vedic literatures, talks about the glories of devotional service and concludes with a very emphatic verse which talks about the importance of chanting holy name. How of all the 9 limbs of devotional service, chanting of holy name is the most important. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam Pranama Dukkha Samanas Tam Namami Harim Param. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam. Just by chanting the names of the Lord, Sarva Papa Pranasanam, all the sinful activities, sinful proclivities, the reactions of sinful actions will be destroyed. Pranama Dukkha Samanas, all the material miseries also will be gone. Tam Namami Harim Param. To that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, I bow down. And we had this beautiful verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which was the theme for Nama Sankirtan, or chanting the holy name. Nama Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Suddha Nitya Mukta Abhinnatvan Nama Namino. Nama Chintamani Krishna. Chintamani means a touchstone. Not even a touchstone, it's a wish-fulfilling tree or something, a substance which can fulfill all our desires. Nama Chintamani Krishna. Krishna's name is like a Chintamani. Chintamani which can fulfill all desires. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya. Chaitanya is alive. It's not some mundane dead name that I'm chanting. Chaitanya, fully alive, cognizant. Rasa Vigraha, filled with mellows. And it is a murti, it's a person. Holy name is a person. Nama Prabhu. Nama Chaitanya Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Suddha, completely pure. Nitya Mukta, eternally liberated. Abhinnatvan Nama Namina. The name of the Lord and the Lord, they are non-different. They are the same. Abhinnatvam. Then we had, of course, Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. Especially in this age of Kali, in this age of quarrel, in this age of dissension, in this age of fight, in this age of hypocrisy, where for small things people are, having so many issues. The Lord, out of His causeless mercy, has descended as His holy name, Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. The Lord, when He personally comes, He delivers some souls, but the number is very few. But the Lord, when He comes as the holy name, it delivers unlimited Jagai Madhais, unlimited. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. Nama Haite Hai Sarva Jagat Nistar. If somebody takes up to this process of chanting holy name, he becomes liberated from this Jagat, from this material world. The third thing that we had was glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and today is the 3rd day. First day we spoke about this verse. Sarva Vedanta Saram Hi Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate Tad Rasamrata Triptasya Nanyatra Syadrati Kvachit. Sarva Vedanta Saram, of all the Vedic literature, the essence is Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva Vedanta Saram Hi Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate. This is considered, this is accepted as the essence of all the Vedic literatures. Tad Rasamrata Triptasya. This is nectar. This is filled with mellows. That's why even at the beginning of Bhagavatam, When Vyasadeva compiles this, the third verse, he says, what is that? Nigamakalpataror galitam phalam sukamukhadamrita drava samyutam pivata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Nigamakalpataror galitam phalam. This is the matured fruit, the ripened fruit of all Vedic literatures. Nigamakalpataror galitam phalam sukamukhadamrita drava samyutam. It has come out of the mouth of a pure devotee like a parrot. If it has, if it has touched, if the beak of a parrot, if it is biting some fruit like a mango or guava, it becomes even relishable. Nigamakalpataror galitam phalam sukamukhadamrita drava samyutam pivata bhagavatam rasamalayam. Oh, this is treasure house, storehouse of rasas, mellows. Pivata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuva bhavuka. Every time, always muhuraho. We should continuously, constantly drink this. Rasika, oh thoughtful men, why are you not doing this? It's a rhetoric question which is asked. So tad rasamrita triptasya. So when somebody hears or reads Bhagavatam, he becomes completely satisfied. Tad rasamrita triptasya nanyatra syadrati kvachit. There is no other need to read any other literature. But if somebody says, no, Prabhu, I have been reading and I have been practicing, but I'm still having desire to read other books, or I have still got some other desires, that means we are not reading or associating with Bhagavatam properly. It's a fact. And we will see today, there are some themes that we have today. The theme that today we have is how to read and associate with Bhagavatam. That is one of the things that we will talk about. But before we do that, yesterday we had this two things that we spoke about. It's hard to flourish when we are in survival mode. Most people in this Kali Yuga, they are busy taking care of their material obligations, duties, and they think if we don't do, what will happen to our family? If we don't take care of our career, if we don't take care of this, who is going to take care? But Bhagavatam's firm assertion is the verse which comes in first canto. Narad Muni talks to Vedavyas, Tasyaiva heta prayateta kovido, na labhyate yad brahmatam upariyadha, tal labhyate dukkavad anyatra sukham, kalena sarvatra gabhira ramhasa. Tasyaiva, only for that purposeful end we should endeavor. And what is that purposeful end? The purposeful end of going back home, back to Godhead, which is not available even going to the top planetary system or the bottom planetary system. Even if you wonder, tasyaiva heta prayateta kovidho, na labhyate yad brahmatam upariyadha, ta labhyate dukkhavat anyatra sukham. This sukha that we are trying to achieve by the business of sense gratification it will come anyway. Like the miseries are coming without our asking for it, the sukha is going to come. No need to work hard for that. But if we are in the survival mode, we can't see this. We can't even understand this. Then we spoke about the greatest lie which Bhagavatam exposes. It's a very beautiful verse of Bhagavatam, and this is the most quoted verse by Srila Prabhupada, the most quoted Srimad Bhagavatam verse. Nate viduhu swartha gatim he Vishnum durasayaye bhirartha maninaha andha yathandeher upaniyamanas te pisha tantryam urudam nibaddha. Nate viduhu swartha gatim he Vishnum. Viduhu, people don't know that their real selfish interest, their real self-interest lies in knowing about Vishnu. Nate viduhu swartha gatim he Vishnum durasayaye bhirartha manina. They are busy in so many other things, thinking that by this way or that way I'll be happy. And that is a hope against hope, as per Bhagavatam. Durasayaye bhirartha manina. Andha yathandher. Though this is the biggest lie, that I will be happy or I'll be satisfied by materially becoming successful, by materially becoming accomplished. I'll be happy is the biggest lie. We know it, yet we keep doing it. Why? Andha yathandeher upaniyamanas. Andha yathandeher upaniyamanas te bisha tantrayam murudam nibaddha. Like a blind man, like somebody whom we have accepted as a role model, whose only goal, whose only consciousness is absorbed in material enjoyment. Since he is a blind man, following him also we will fall into the ditch. And what is the ditch? Te pisha tantryam urudam nibaddha. Te pisha tantryam. Like a rope which is tied to a bull, to the nose of the bull, and the bull is helplessly being pulled, the way the rope is pulled. Similarly, te pisha tantryam urudam nibaddha. Similarly, we are bound by the laws of karma, laws of nature. And we keep accepting bodies after bodies. Te pisha tantryam urudam nibaddha. It's a very beautiful verse that we had in the last class. So today, of course, we spoke about Krishna Sudhama Upagate Dharma Jnana Divisa Kalo Nashtadrisha Mesa Purana Arko Dhanodita and this Anarthopasamam Sakshat. Today, on the third day, I've got two things to share. First thing is, which is the Paribhasa Sutra of Srimad Bhagavatam? My question is, Prabhu, which is the Paribhasa Sutra? Paribhasa Sutra is something which defines the Vedic literature, which defines that it's the core, the main, the emperor verse of that literature. Based on that, the whole literature is there. I mean, yes. Okay, so I'm trying to say, Prabhu, Paribhasa Sutra, Bhasa, which defines a particular literature. One verse is like the essence, is the summary. If you expand that, or if you see the other verses of that particular literature, it comes down to that one essential verse. Yes. Aham evasam evagre. No. Etam? Yeah, that is the Paribhasa Sutra. Ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. So Bhagavad Gita, if somebody asks what is the Paribhasa Sutra, correct. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. And then manmana, no sorry, Achitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Then Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayandite and tesham evanukam partham, the last verse. So what is the Paribhasa Sutra for nectar of devotion? What is second text? This is not nectar of instruction, not the one that we are reading, nectar of devotion. Anyavilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavratam anukulyena krishnanusilanam bhaktiruttama. Anyavilasita sunyam, no other desire, save and except engaging in the devotional service of the Lord. Anyavilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavratam, free from the tinges of jnana and karma. Jnana karmadi anavratam anukulyena krishnanusilanam bhaktiruttama. So, little bit of context is needed before we go into this. Actually, the sages of Naimisharanya, they asked 6 questions to Suta Goswami. One of the questions that they asked is, Athakyahi harer dhiman avatara katha subhaha leela vidadhata swairam ishwarasyatma mayaya. So the question that they asked was, O wise Suta, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Godhead's multi-incarnations. Such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord, the Supreme Controller, are performed by His internal powers. Ishwarasyatma mayaya. This is the question, this is the context. And the answer to this question was given by Suta Goswami in the first canto, 3rd chapter. He describes various incarnations. There are about 21 incarnations that he describes. And after that, he speaks this verse. You can repeat after me. Ete chamsa kalah pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge Ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. What this verse is telling is Ete. Ete means all these incarnations that I have already described. Cha. And the other incarnations which I have not described, or maybe I have missed them. Ete cha amsa kalaha. Either they are portions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or portions of portions. Portions means, amsa means they have the same potency as that of the Supreme Lord. And kala means the portion of portion. They may not have all the potencies. Ete cha amsa kalaha pumsa. But the next line, Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. However, You may say there are many great archers in this world, but Lord Ram is the supreme. The moment you say, but Lord Ram is the supreme, that means he is in a different category. So, ete chamsa kalaha pumsa, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. However, all these incarnations which I have defined, they are either portion of the Supreme Lord or portion of the Supreme Lord, but Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. However, Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. Indrari Vyakulam Loke. Indrari is the enemies of Indra. So they are all the miscreants. Vyakulam, when they create disturbance, Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. These incarnations come down whenever there is a miscreant, whenever the miscreants create the disturbances. That's the meaning of this verse. All of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. So this is the Paribhasa Sutra of Bhagavatam, which talks about the glories of the Supreme Lord and his various incarnations. When he comes, how he annihilates the miscreants and he protects the devotees. So his pastimes with his devotees are very wonderfully described in Bhagavatam. If somebody hears this incarnations of the Lord, Janma Guhyam Bhagavato, Ya etat prayato naraha, Sayam pratar granam bhaktya, dukkha gramad vimuchyate. Whoever carefully recites the mysterious appearances of the Lord with devotion in the morning and in the evening gets relief from all miseries of life. So it's a not ordinary thing, these incarnations of the Lord, which are so wonderfully described in Bhagavatam. One gets relief from all miseries of life. Dukkha gramad vimuchyate. One becomes completely free. If that is the case, so this is the context, the questions being asked by the Sutta Goswami, by the sages of Naimisharanya. They asked about different incarnations, and Sutta Goswami narrated different incarnations, and he concludes with this verse, which we said as the Paribhasa Sutra. Then comes a verse which talks about the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam in the same canto, same chapter, first canto, third chapter, 40th verse. You can repeat after me. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishihi Nishrayasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasti Ayanam Mahad Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishihi Nishrayasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasti Ayanam Mahad. This verse, spoken by Sutta Goswami, is telling Idam Bhagavatam Namam Puranam Brahma Samhitam. This is Purana, this is a historical narration. Brahma Samhitam. This is not Samhita. Brahma Samhitam means equal to Brahman. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. Param Brahma. He is addressing the Lord as Param Brahma. So this Bhagavatam is equal to Brahma. Idam Bhagavata Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam. This is non-different from the Supreme Lord. Like the Lord has many names, Damodar, Krishna, Murari, Madhusudan, and so on and so forth. One name of the Lord is Srimad Bhagavatam. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam. Like we saw that Abhinnatvam Nama Namino. Krishna's name and Krishna is non-different. Similarly, this is Samhitam. Actually, very beautiful translation of Prabhupada in the word-to-word meaning. He says this is a literary incarnation of the Lord. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam. What is the content of Bhagavatam? Uttama Shloka Charitam. The Lord, whose another name is Uttama Shloka, who is glorified with choicest poetries, choicest words, or who's befitting of receiving all the adulation in the form of choicest words. Uttama Shloka Charitam, his activities, his pastimes. Like we saw that yesterday, Nate Viduhu Swartha Gatim He Vishnu. The real goal of life is to know about Vishnu. And this Bhagavatam only, save and only contains about the glories of the Supreme Lord, his activities. Uttama Shloka Charitam. Chakara Bhagavan Rishihi. Chakara is compiled by Bhagavan Rishihi, another incarnation of the Lord in the form of Vyasadeva. He compiled this. Why? This was never put into writing, but Vyasadeva could see that this Kali Yuga is coming where people will be so restless, so disturbed. Upadrata, prayana alpayusa sabhya kalau asmin yuge jana, manda samanda matayoho, manda bhagya upadrata. Lazy people don't take up to the spiritual activities, samanda matayoho, dull-witted, manda bhagya upadrata, they're unfortunate and disturbed. So Chakara Bhagavan, he put it, he compiled this in the form of writing. Chakara Bhagavan Rishi. Nishrayasayasya lokasya. This is the ultimate beneficial thing. Nishrayasayasya lokasya. Dhanyam, all glories. Swasti, when we have this, yagyas, we have this swasti vachana. Swasti is auspicious. Dhanyam swasti ayana mahat. This is all great. This is the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is mentioned in Bhagavatam. So this is non-different from the Lord. The translation of this is, this Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Big question is, how do we read or associate with Srimad Bhagavatam? This is what we will spend time on a little bit, whatever we can. Because we saw that yesterday, anarthopasamam sakshat, bhakti yogam adhokshaje, lokasya jananto vidvams chakre satvata samhita. The reason why Bhagavatam was compiled by Vedavyas, anarthopasamam, we are suffering so many miseries, so many things which we don't want, we are going through. They are imposed, inflicted on us. Anarthopasamam, they can be mitigated. Anarthopasamam sakshat, bhakti yogam adhokshaje. If somebody engages in devotional service of the Supreme Lord, it can be completely mitigated. Lokasya jananto vidvams, but people don't know about it. That is why Chakre Satvata Samhita. That's why I compiled this. Or the second verse of Bhagavatam where it is mentioned, Dharma projita kaitavo atro paramo nirmat saranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu sivadam tapatrayon mulanam. Tapatraya, this three tapa, which is coming on every one of us. Adhyatmik, Adidaivik and Adibhautik. The kleshas or the miseries arising because of our own body and mind, the miseries which are arising because of natural catastrophe, like some cyclone comes, some tsunami comes, some earthquake comes, some volcanic eruption comes, and people are disturbed. And miseries which is arising because of other living entities, like a mosquito comes and bites. Somebody is very envious who's there in your office, does something which you have not done any harm to him, but his nature is like that, he puts you in some kind of difficult things, uses harsh words, insults you. These are miseries arising because of other living entities. Adhyatmik, Adidaivik and Adibhautik. Tapatraya unmulanam. If you take association of Bhagavatam, this tapatraya, this tritapa, this miseries arising because of these three things will be eradicated. Unmulanam. But we are also reading Bhagavatam. We are trying to follow Bhagavatam. Why it is not happening? What is the thing that is missing? Let's see this. You repeat this verse after me. Tatra kirtayato vipra viprasair bhuri tejasaha aham chadhyagamam tatra nivishtas tad anugrahat soham bahasravaishyami yathadhitam yathamati. Very, very beautiful verse. If you really want to understand how should you study Bhagavatam, how should you associate with Bhagavatam, this verse discloses that. Tatra kirtayato vipra vipraser bhuri tejasa. This is spoken by Sutta Goswami. So he's telling, when Sukadev Goswami narrated kirtayato, when Sukadev Goswami narrated Vipra, oh sages, vipraser bhuri tejasa, he is the topmost Vipra. And bhuri, very powerful. Tatra kirtayato vipra vipraser bhuri tejasa. Actually, somebody who takes up to devotional service and who is perfectly pure, free from all material contaminations, extremely powerful. Purity is the force. Vipraser bhuri tejasa. He was very powerful. He was the topmost sage of that time. I heard from him. Tatra kirtayato vipra vipraser bhuri tejasa. Aham chadhya gamam tatra. I was present there and I understood that. Nivishtas, completely absorbed. Tad anugrahat, by his mercy. So aham bahasravyaishyami. I am going to explain that to you, all of you. Yatha adhitam, yatha mati. As much I have understood, as much my intelligence is, as much I have realized, that I am going to share. This is the verse. The translation is, O learned Brahmanas, when Sukadev Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention. And thus, by his mercy, I learned the Bhagavatam from the great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it. It's a very powerful thing. Now pay attention to the purport. Actually, this purport I would have read at least 20, 30 times. And every time I read, something new comes up. And that is what I'll just share with you. Prabhupada writes in the purport, one can certainly see directly the presence of Lord Sri Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam, if one has heard it from the self-realized great soul like Sukadev Goswami. See, one can see directly the Lord in the pages of Bhagavatam. They are talking about, see, Sutta Goswami is talking about Sukadev, he heard it from Sukadev Goswami, but the beauty of Prabhupada is, he's telling that you can see Krishna face to face on the pages of Bhagavatam if one has heard it from a self-realized great soul like Sukadev Goswami. Point is very important. One has to hear from a pure devotee. People also hear Bhagavatam, Bhagavat Saptah, this thing, that thing, from a professional reciter. So Prabhupada further elaborates that. If one has heard it from a self-realized great soul like Sukadev Goswami, then Prabhupada says, one cannot, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogus hired reciter whose aim of life is to earn some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence. There are many professional reciters who talk about Bhagavatam, and there are many rich men who organize this Bhagavat Saptah, where for 1 week they will talk about Bhagavatam, but they take money for that and use it for their own sense gratification, including sex indulgence. Right? Some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence. One cannot learn Bhagavatam like this. See how to learn Bhagavatam, because this has the potency, this can be understood, but it is not at the same time not easy. One cannot, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogus hired reciter. In America, the word professional means somebody who's good at it. But Prabhupada's use of this is, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogus hired reciter. He says that it's a professional reciter. Professional reciter means someone who's doing it for his profession, for earning his livelihood, and he is using that money for his indulging in sense gratification. One cannot learn Bhagavatam. Then no one can learn Srimad Bhagavatam who's associated with persons engaged in sex life. That is the secret of learning Bhagavatam. Mind you, this is called the secret. Why the word secret? If you read this purport, the word secret comes again and again. Secret means it is available. Who doesn't know that Bhagavatam is very essential, especially if a Vaishnava, he knows Bhagavatam is very important, but it remains as a secret if you don't know how to learn Bhagavatam. It remains as a secret. No matter, the book is there, everything is there, hearing, still it will remain as a secret. Why? Prabhupada explains that, nor can one learn Bhagavatam from one who interprets the text by his mundane scholarship. There are many people who interpret. You go to Harvard University, Chicago University, many professional people give interpretation of Bhagavatam. One cannot learn Bhagavatam like that. Then how will you learn? One has to learn Bhagavatam from the representative of Sukadev Goswami and no one else. If one at all wants to see Lord Krishna in the pages, you have to learn it from Sukadev Goswami or his representative. And no one else, Prabhupada says. If you want to, one has to learn Bhagavatam, one has to learn it from the representative of Sukadev Goswami and no one else. If one at all wants to see Lord Krishna in the pages. Very important. If you want to see Lord Krishna in the pages, learn it from Sukadev Goswami or his representative. And Prabhupada says that is the process and there is no alternative. This is the process. There is no other alternative. So, sometimes in Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, when it says it's a secret, that means it is available, but we will not be able to, it will not be revealed. Mind you, the knowledge of Bhagavatam cannot be understood by research. It has to be revealed. And for revelation, we need certain qualifications. How to learn it, how to understand this verse talks about it. That is the process and there is no alternative. Suta Goswami is a bona fide representative of Sukadev Goswami because he wants to present the message which he received from the great learned Brahmana. Suta Goswami is a bona fide representative. He heard it and he wants to present it, what he heard. He wants to present the message which he received from the great Brahmana, learned Brahmana. Sukadev Goswami presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from his father. And so also Suta Goswami is presenting Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Sukadev Goswami. So, we got the process. We should not hear from so many people. We should hear it from the representative of Sukadev Goswami. But the next sentence of Prabhupada is a powerful sentence. Simple hearing is not all, sorry. Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. Actually, you just heard that hearing is enough? I mean, we'll hear it from the bona fide representative. We will not hear from a professional reciter. We will not hear from someone who is giving interpretation. But Prabhupada is saying, simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. This sentence, if you meditate, actually, if somebody looks at somebody's face, suppose I'm looking at your face. What is Atma Sakti and what is your name? Huh? Padmanabh, beautiful name, right? So I'm looking at your face, okay? Based on my intent or based on what I'm looking at, I may say maybe it's a white face or maybe something else I will say. But if a physician is looking at your face, right, Padmanabh, then he will see different things. Maybe, he'll say your blood circulation is not okay. I mean, probably everything's fine, but I'm just saying, the way they look and the way we look, there is a difference. What makes all the difference is the attention, Prabhupada is saying, and not just attention, proper attention. Simple hearing is not all. People come just for the sake of coming. They can't sit, they can't do things. They are no attention. When this Bhagavatam for 7 days, 7 nights was going on, when Parikshit heard, he heard it with rapt attention. Sutta Goswami, he's telling with rapt attention. What is that attention? That makes all the difference. I must be very eager to understand this. If that attention is missing, if I go there, what is there in my intent? And I'll see something and I'll just go back thinking, I heard some English text was there, they pronounced it, I saw it and came back. No, with proper attention. Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. And then Prabhupada says, the word nivishta means that Sutta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. Some people come when they are coming for the first time or they are coming for nth time. If in our heart we don't know how to associate with Bhagavatam, this remains as a mystery because we are not paying attention. I think I can do multitasking. Some people are doing some things. What is the problem if a child comes and disturbs? Something like that. Arey nahi Baba, it requires that attention, proper attention. Attention is not there, then we will see some trivial things, some disturbing things, and we will go back. It will not work. The word nivishta means that Sutta Goswami drank the juice through his ears. Drank means he was completely thirsty, parched, eagerly waiting. That eagerness is needed. It's not some ritual. It's not something that we have to do as a formality. No. The word nivishta means Sutta Goswami drank through the years. They were not moving, they were not doing anything. They were not looking for some juice break, water break, or bio break, or this food, that food. They were drinking the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. The word nivishta means that. That is the real process of receiving Bhagavatam. One should hear with a rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. There is a famous philosopher by name J.L. Austin. He has written a book called Working with Words or something like that, where he talks about a particular thing which is called, what is the term called? It's a very nice term that he uses, which is worth paying attention. Sometimes when some people say certain words, it no more remains as a word, it becomes more than that. So it's called performative utterances. So for example, I'll give you some example, performative utterances, what it means. Suppose a judge, he gives this verdict, put this person for 10 years in imprisonment. It has a power, immediately that will be executed. Or somebody who's a priest, a qualified priest, who's performing a marriage ceremony, and he says that, now I declare you man and woman as husband and wife. So it is. But if I say, okay, I declare this person should be put behind the bars for 10 years, what value does these words have? So it should come from the real person. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. It's not easy. Again, the secret. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. So, what is the secret? No one can give rapt attention who's not pure in mind. Not pure in mind, rapt attention will not come. Pure in mind means what? Mind is something like, imagine there is a house. We'd seen some house long back. For 2 decades, if it is not opened, maybe some homeless people are staying there, sometimes once in a while. Some animals are dead. That is the condition of our mind. No one can give rapt attention who's not pure in mind. Cannot sit. Impossible. No matter who you are. If not purity in mind is not there, rapt attention is not there. No one can give rapt attention who's not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who's not pure in action. What is action? Action is like, we have this 10 senses, 5 knowledge acquiring senses by which we acquire knowledge from this world. 5, what are the other 5 senses? 5 working senses. Bhagavad Gita courses, what? 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses. 5 working senses by which we are engaging in different activities. If you're not pure in activity, you can't be pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who's not pure in action. What is purity in action means? What is purity in how we are engaging in this world? What does it mean? No one can be pure in action who's not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. Even these 4 basic things which are done by the animals, if we're not pure in that, pure in eating, sleeping, and fearing and mating, if we're not pure in that, forget about being pure in mind. No one can be pure in action who's not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Krishna in person in the pages of Bhagavad. It's a fact. Idam Bhagavatam Namam Puranam Brahma Samhitam. This is not different from the Lord. I can see, realize the Lord face to face on the pages of Bhagavatam if I hear with rapt attention from the right person. So we are fortunate enough that we have Srila Prabhupada with us. His Vani, he's given this Bhagavatam painstakingly, staying awake in the night and giving this, the translations and the purports. It's our duty to hear it with rapt attention. If that thing is not there, Bhagavatam will remain as a secret. Forget about seeing Krishna in pages of the Bhagavatam. Will not even develop a taste to read this Bhagavatam. So to conclude our time together, we spoke about 2 things, 2 important things today, and one was the Paribhasa Sutra, which is Ete Chamsa Kala Pumsa Krishnas Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokyam Hridayanti Yuge. Actually, this eagerness to hear cannot be imposed on people, cannot be. And why they are not having rapt attention? Like we were seeing that series of things, because mind is not pure. Why mind is not pure? Because there is no purity in action. Why there is no purity in action? Because these 4 things also they are not doing properly. They don't know. But if somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person, then one can see Krishna in pages of Bhagavatam. Then we had this beautiful verse that we spoke about. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishrayasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swastiyanam Mahat. And the verse that we spoke today, how to associate or read Srimad Bhagavatam. I want all of you can repeat after me, and then we will go for Damodara Ashtakam. Tatra Kirtayato Vipra Viprasher Bhuri Tejasaha Aham Chadhyagamam Tatra Nivishtas Tadanugrahad Soham Bhashravaishyami Yathadhitam Yathamati Tatra Kirtayato Vipra Viprasher Bhuri Tejasaha Aham Chadhyagamam Tatra Nivishtas Tadanugrahad Soham Bhashravaishyami Yathadhitam Yathamati. One last time we will do. Tatra Kirtayato Vipra Viprasher Bhuri Tejasaha Aham Chadhyagamam Tatra Nivishtas Tadanugrahad Soham Shravayishyami Yathadhitam Yathamati. So this is the secret of Srimad Bhagavatam, which can expose you, which can enable you to see Krishna on the pages. But for that, there is a process which needs to be followed. And this is the process which is mentioned. Prabhupada beautifully explains in this purport. Read this. The next program we have is Damodara Ashtakam. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki.